brother.
And we're live. One last time, one last ride before, 2028, the summer probably?
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
Well, we have a big episode to talk about. Episode 8, the season finale of House of the Dragon. Overall, your thoughts on this episode? Good, bad, great, ugly?
I thought it was peak TV. I thought it was far and away the best episode of the whole show.
Far and away.
Yeah, I think Rook's Rest is second, but it's a close second. But this had it all. It was great. It gave us a lot of satisfying moments, but it also left us wanting more for the next. It was perfect, honestly. For a lot of the criticisms the show deserves, this episode is perfect.
What about the books, man?
What about them? That's a lot of changes, as they've been saying. A lot of changes.
I know, that's the backlash I hear. Is like it's going against the source material.
Hugh Hammer.
Yeah, I don't care what. Like, if we're still getting good content, who cares if it's based off the books or not? You know?
I agree.
Like, Game of Thrones, they switched up the books and it was fucking terrible.
I
think there's.
Have you seen all the stuff where in the books, Sheep Stealers, Dragon Rider is this girl Nettles?
Yeah,
and yeah, think there's like that seems to be the big change.
Yeah. Oh, there's probably a bunch of other small stuff. Well, let's get into the finale. Big, massive finale. I think we had at least 5 named characters die. We're heading on to season 4 with kind of 2 sides of a war that have both been beaten brutally in different ways, I guess. But where would you like to start this off? I think we start with the biggest death of them all, Helena. I
want it to be known you did not think it was coming.
I know. I did not.
You thought the dreams, man. You were a sucker. You were a sheep. I tried to tell you. Her writing was on the wall, honestly. In hindsight, I'm surprised I wasn't even more convinced that she was the most obvious death. I mean, they were telegraphing that shit from the heavens.
What makes you say that?
You didn't see the clips on like Instagram or TikTok of like the windows and how they kept foreshadowing her jumping out the window and everything?
I did not. So there was.
Look that up afterwards. There was a lot of foreshadowing shots of like that being her death, and I liked Helena, but I think like she got a little too much love. Like I thought she was a little boring, honestly. So.
Well, I thought it was like leading to something cool. Like she was the dreamer, and she like had these visions that like
her 13th reason was literally being force fed food. Like that's crazy, if we're being honest.
Yeah, well, you don't agree with her side against Rhaenyra? Rhaenyra, like she basically, Mysaria tells her when she's going up to like when she intercepts her, she's like, "Hey, you're going to be used as a pawn for the rest of your life."
No, I agree with that. I understand why Helena felt that she had no choice, because it was like be a political prisoner for the rest of your life or end it. So like I get it. I mean, it sucks, like, but I think like I don't think she brought as much to the table as a lot of like people thought she did. Like I feel like there was a lot of potential with her character, but we didn't really see like that much. She was just cooped up in a room for most of the season.
To me, she was like a cool like side character. Like, we hang out with her for a couple minutes. She dreams up some things, tells some fortunes, and like she was becoming one of my favorites because she became more and more prominent. But that was just because she was kind of leading to death, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Well, how do you think Alicent's going to react to this news? I'm questioning what's left out there for Alicent in the show. Really, like
not much. I don't really know. That's gonna be my short answer is she'll probably be devastated, but it's like she left her there to go kill her other son, so it's like kind of her fault. Maybe that's how she'll probably take it, is like it's my fault.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe she just goes Team Daron because he's like, no,
I don't think so. I like where your head's at, but you gotta remember she hasn't seen Daron since he was
Yeah,
She's like hasn't really seen him at all. She doesn't know what he's like.
right. Well, he's a good kid. Okay, Allison. But yeah, I mean, she knows that there's a moment of something going on with it. Butterflies fly up. That's the only time we really see Allison react to that news. Any thoughts on Helena's stitching? So when I watched the episode, I thought that this was Aegon being king again, but I've been made aware that this is Rhaenyra with blood. So it was kind of like
Yes,
unclear
it was
stitching.
Rhaenyra on a bloody throne.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously know that that there's going to be bloodshed and everything. So like, I didn't think like it was like a spoiler by any means. You know, it's like
No, well, and
she's either going to
her
stay on the
visions didn't even
throne.
fucking come true because she's dead.
Yeah,
So she's
but
not even
even if it
alive
does,
anymore.
like, she either stays on the throne and there's more death, which like obviously, or she's off the throne and there's more death. So obviously, so it's like that didn't really tell me much. You know.
Yeah, well, even we see her in the I think it's either in this season or last season. She's like on the throne and gets stabbed by the swords and like starts bleeding.
Yeah,
In this season because she wasn't on the
this
throne last
season.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's definitely some symbolism in there, and we'll just have to see where that goes. So yeah,
The
I'm gonna miss
throne
Helena.
rejects those unworthy. I think that was an Aegon the Conqueror quote.
Movie announced for whenever that is, but
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
have to see that.
excited.
So my one question with Helena is, and we don't have to really spend too much time on this, is what's going to happen with her dragon? That was a beautiful dragon.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I read what happens, so I'm
Okay,
not
don't
gonna
say.
I'm not
Okay,
gonna
no
talk on
opinions.
this.
No opinions.
I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk on this.
So I'm curious to see what happens with that beautiful dragon. Winter is coming. I guess we don't know if that's going to come because she's not going to be there to be a part of
Well,
it.
winter's coming in at least 150 years. We know that.
Right.
So
And the baby. I guess the baby's dead too.
the baby would be dead by transitive property. That's a very
Yeah,
good
it's
point.
crazy.
Yes, that
All
was
those
supposed to
visions.
be like Magar or something. That was another book change too. Is that she was supposed to have a third kid that was never shown in the show.
Yeah. Well, they've only got 8 episodes left, which is crazy. So Helena,
I'm
R.I.P.
worried. Yeah,
Well,
I'm still not too sure how they'll wrap it up, but I'm trying to be optimistic. So
I saw like one. You might have seen this video on like X. It was like them trying to wrap up season 4, and it was just like the craziest like compilation of like different like major movies and
yeah,
TV shows, like plot twists and stuff. So I
no,
mean,
I didn't see
really,
that. But
if we're in 2028, like every episode's gonna have something. If we're gonna get the true ending of all this characters, which I've been told, I did ask that question to my spoiled friends. I was like, will we know what happens to every character? Because I don't want to leave off and it's just like kind of like a Game of Thrones thing, like, oh, there's more to be explored, where we know the true histories of these people, because at least in the Game of Thrones, I'm hoping we get an ending to most characters. Only 8 episodes, maybe they'll expand it to 10, who knows? But we'll have to keep that in the back pocket for now. Let's transition to Tumbleton. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what's best to start from the beginning or go from the end. I think we start from the beginning. Obviously, well, let's talk about the big part of this. Someone you've also correctly clocked throughout the season, Ulf. I was kind of more high on Ulf, especially in season 2, but I'll give you your credit. You're kind of down on him. I think we
thank
both
you,
kind of
Colin.
agreed
Thank
that
you.
we both agreed during this season that probably something bad was going to happen, but I did not expect that he would turn against both sides in this battle.
Yeah, that was a good moment. I didn't think it'd be both sides. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was a good twist. That was a good like Game of Thrones twist. I mean, Ormond dug himself his own grave because he's. I mean, I understand Ormond's frustration with Ulf because it's like you got one job, bro. It's like show up. You got one job. And you get the castles or you get Driftmark. I think that's what he was promised by Ormond.
Driftmark, yeah.
But it's like the guy's switching sides because he's been treated like garbage by Damon. I get you're caught up in the moment, Ormond, but you got to know the man's motivate. It's like I thought that was a moment from Ormond that I can understand where the frustration is coming from because you're in the heat of battle, but at the same time, like the guy's got a dragon that you're trying to deal with, so it's like you got to be a little sensitive to the guy that rides the dragon.
Now, are you aware of like how big the dragons are? Like, is Ulf's dragon one of the bigger? I know Ulf's dragon is probably one of the bigger ones, but is it like
I
by
know
not
Hughes
Vhagar?
is. I think Hughes is the second biggest
Okay,
besides Vhagar, and then I don't know about Ulf's. I think Ulf's is probably like a good size. Like it's not small, but
maybe
I
like
don't
top
think it's
5.
like top 5, but like not top 3 probably.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, if they're going to deviate off the books, Hugh, I don't know what they're going to do with Hugh's character.
So that's what I'm really interested about because I said this to you, and it's not a spoiler because it's about the first battle of Tumbleton. But in the books, I read that Hugh goes with Ulf, and they tag team Tumbleton together. So now I'm curious of like what's Hugh's storyline because I could see him going a bunch of different ways, but like I could see him pushed further into Team Black. I could see him pushed further into Team Green. I could see him pushed into his own corner like Ulf, where he just does his own thing because he's mad at both sides. I could really see him getting a bunch of different ways, going a bunch of different ways. So I'm excited to see what they do with him.
Yeah, I always thought it was going to be one and one, like Ulf goes bad, Hugh goes good, or vice versa. I guess there isn't a good and bad anymore because Team Black's kind of fucked it up
Yeah,
as well. But
it was a
no,
good Ulf moment, I will say. Is a bit of an Ulf and Ulf hater.
it
It
was a
was a
good
good
payoff.
moment.
It was a
Yeah,
good
we're
payoff.
like we finally see like why he's been in the show because he was pretty useless before this episode. So like good Ulf moment. I'll give him that. Finally gave us some reason that he's on TV.
Yeah. Connor has a comment for us, our co-host. He says, watching this while driving. Unfortunately, he could not join us. Maybe next season we can figure out
Yes.
to get a true,
2028 pencil
yeah, a
in.
true panel. But I appreciate the watch while driving. Be safe.
That's when the dubcast blows up.
Yeah, no, before that, come on. But we have Ulf shitting, which I was like, what was Ulf
That was
really up to
that
though?
was
Like
so funny.
he's just in
I
the urinal for like hours, just asleep.
I actually thought that was great because I like not to be like a film nerd, TV nerd, but I thought that was just like a really good moment of like this guy's just like so incompetent that he can't even do like the smallest things right. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that
Um,
was that was a good moment.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, like rare Ulf dub is what I'll say.
Okay. Any future? Well, if you're not you're spoiled, don't say. But any
No,
future thoughts on
I don't know most of what happens. I just know a few things
future
now.
ideas for what may happen to Ulf down the road?
I mean, now he's gonna be definitely public enemy number one of Rhaenyra. Um, definitely. I mean, everyone thinks that he's Team Black, including like Aemond, Aegon. Darren doesn't realize that, but Aemond, Aegon, the small folk, they all think that he's Team Black and everything. So I think this is gonna even lead to more pushback from Rhaenyra in terms of this guy's betrayed me and made me like a public fool and basically just like made it look like I just burned down all of Tumbleton. So I feel like he'll probably be a goner pretty early on in season 4, but not having done or having done a lot of damage to Rhaenyra's reputation.
Yeah, my guess would be like a group hunt, like with all the dragons on Team
Yeah,
Black to like track him down and then either get him off the dragon or just kill the dragon. It's probably smarter to just get him off the dragon and get somebody else on there if you can. But I guess I don't know
yeah,
if they're willing to like dip back into the well of civilians. So I don't know who like does Joffrey have a dragon, Rhaenyra's son that we see in this episode. And I think a time jump is there's gonna be a lot of time jumps in season
I
4.
agree.
Early prediction for that.
I'm expecting
But
some time jumps for sure.
okay. Yeah, so that's it on Ulf. This battle, though, I mean, there's so much more to talk about this battle. I think the man of this episode is Roderick. Everyone's talking about Roderick Dustin.
Dog.
His battle versus Ormond was awesome.
Awesome.
Um, the
It
line of
was
him
some of the
saying, like,
best. That was one of the best fighting scenes in all of like top 3 to 5 fighting scenes in all of like the Game of Thrones like history.
that's definitely one, like, Jon Snow, like, getting ready for the Battle of the Bastards. Like, I feel like that's rewatchable.
Yeah.
And I was just
I
going to
was
say, like,
thinking
him
I was about
hyping
to
up
say
his
the same
boys,
thing.
too. What?
I was thinking Night of the Seven Kingdoms
No,
um
no, no.
Trial of Seven scene was pretty sick also.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, that's the bread and butter of the shows when you can get like a hype build up into
Yeah.
that.
But just like
Um,
Roger getting his arm cut off, takes out the dagger with the other arm, stabs it up Ormond's behind, and it was so funny too because right when Ormond cuts off his one arm, the blood spats on him, and you could see Ormond's about to puke because he's like a OCD freak and everything,
yeah,
and then for him at that moment gets socked in the face. Then I thought that was just like a perfect fight scene. It was so good.
that was
Um,
awesome.
Ormond, as you remember, I was a hater. Also, when we first got introduced, I was like, "This guy feels forced," and then immediately I took back my words. The next episode, absolutely great character. I'm very impressed with the way he was done by the show. I think the writers and the actor deserve major credit because there was a lot of ways that could have gone poorly with him, and because I read that there also wasn't a lot of source material on Ormond, so I'm very chef's kiss.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in the history of the show like a great like one season kind of villain for like not an
Yeah,
overall villain, but like a one off kind
yeah.
of like Ormond was great with what we got with him. So another RIP Ormond now dead out of the picture. So how does that clear things up? Or
Um, I don't know honestly because it could go a bunch of different ways. Because obviously, Gwaine, on behalf of King Daron, tried to negotiate peace with Rhaenyra. So I don't know if that pushes those two more into Rhaenyra's corner. I don't know if that pushes them further away because they lost their bargaining chip with Corlys. So I could see that really going a bunch of different ways. I mean, realistically, Rhaenyra is obviously not accepting a deal where Daron is in any position of power, but as in like Lord of anything. But
yeah,
um, maybe he gets welcomed back in a sense of member of the small council or something like that, or who knows. So I really could see that going a bunch of different ways. I thought that they left that pretty open ended, which was good.
I my prediction for him is he just gets like bitch boyed by his brothers if they come back and like
But I feel like he owes them just as little as he owes Rhaenyra anything. Like he doesn't know them, and he doesn't
right.
know Rhaenyra. Maybe Alicent somehow gets to him. I don't. I really don't know. He's a bit of a wild card.
Well, to me, he's just not big enough of a player. Like I feel like maybe he like
Still got the dragon.
he does have the dragon, which is a very small dragon.
Yeah,
Was able to burn that one guy we saw, but I feel like in the grand scheme of things, like no one really knows who he is, and his whole like supporting group just got burned. And also,
yeah,
if his supporting group sees either Aegon or Aemond alive, they're gonna be like, "Oh shit!" Like older, proper,
yeah.
whatever it's called, So I feel like
Resurrected from the dead, Aegon Targaryen.
yeah. So I think he's in for a rough, maybe not rough, but like he's kind of just back burner until something happens to either, or if something happens to Aegon or Aemon. But we'll have to see what happens to Daron. We do have a comment. Greg Small, 9505, joining us for the first time this season. He says, "Do you think Rhaenyra should be put in her place?"
Whoa. That feels like a comment that could get me canceled. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
really. What place are you talking about? Like, I feel like
yeah.
she wasn't a great queen. We saw that all throughout this whole season. I think the whole season is basically explaining how she wasn't really fit to rule. But put in her place, I don't really like. I don't know. I can't say I agree with
Listen,
that.
she's lost two kids already. If that's not putting him in her place, I don't know what's putting him in her place. So
Yeah, she's got to.
um,
By the way, she's got to get more kids going because that even walking around that little kid, I was like, something's gonna happen to
no,
this
she's
guy.
got two more with Damon.
Okay.
Remember, she's
Oh,
got
those are off in Pentos.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So she's got backup kids. Don't
All
worry.
right. She has three now. She has Joffrey and then the two kids in Pentos.
Yes, yeah. So
Okay.
she's got three left.
All right.
And the two kids in Pentos though are Damon's, so they have the blonde hair.
All right. Well, back to
Wait, really quick, really quick. I was gonna make a point too. I was saying this to a friend today that I got dinner and did trivia with. Is that um, I think House of Dragon is very conscious of the fact that Daenerys's storyline in season 8 of Thrones was very rushed, and obviously that was a major point of controversy when it comes to her downfall as the Mad Queen and everything. And I think they've just taken the exact opposite point where it took 3 full seasons of Rhaenyra to finally get her Mad Queen character arc moment. And even then, it wasn't even her fault with Tumbleton; it was Ulf.
yeah.
And so, I think one thing when we've complained about the slowness of this season is it shows that there really isn't a pace that these writers can move at that can please everybody because
I
they've
thought
given
this
us
season was
every.
fine.
No, I'm saying the whole show, like including season 2, because
Yeah,
they've
yeah, yeah.
obviously done all the build up to how Rhaenyra has turned into this version of the Mad Queen. And I don't know if I'd say go that far, but this version of someone who's disillusioned or not a great ruler. And now that we've gotten some good episodes, I can appreciate the build up more, but also I'm like, give me more action.
Yeah. No, honestly, I thought season 3 was fine from just like a
No, I'm more
outside of.
referencing season 2.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
more, yeah, where she
Season 2
was
was fine.
locked up in Dragonstone the whole time.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get back to this battle. We kind of touched on the North guys being hype. Damon uses Caraxes and is careful not to really do a bunch of damage. I mean, there's the whole aspect of like Ormond using kids in the front line. I feel like we don't have to spend too much time on that. Just kind of shows what Ormond was really like
Yeah,
not a great guy. And Damon is like holding back some restraint, which is kind of surprising to see, but also good to see for Team Black where he's not
it
like going
was.
crazy.
It was.
Um, and he has the big battle with Roxton. Doesn't really lead to much. I thought he was maybe going to get the better of Roxton, but both of them are still alive. So I'll have to see what happens to that. So just on the ending of this battle, just clearing up what's happened really. So Damon is alive. He's pulled out of the battle by Corlys, who is a big part. We can talk about that sort of confrontation later. But Gwaine survives as well. Roxton survives, and then Ormond, and also we see Cat dead. So we kind of talked about Hugh Hammer, but just quick thoughts on Cat being dead for Hugh Hammer's like motivations or
I mean,
anything.
it's obviously gonna be a bigger story in season 4. Like something will happen with Hugh. He'll have his big moment. I just don't know
Yeah,
what it'll be, but obviously that'll play a big part in it because he's lost his thing that grounded him, his North Star and everything. So I like Hugh though. I think he's a really good character. I mean, I there's you know there's been some they haven't used him to his fullest extent, but you could tell he's a good guy, and I think someone that given more screen time, I would be a bigger fan of.
do we have any updates? Is his daughter still alive? I know she was super sick, but did she pass away?
I don't remember honestly.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see because I feel like they have to have something out there that's like still related to his part of the story to like lead to his next thing, but we'll have to just see
Yeah,
about that. But for now, R.I.P. Cat as well. Another name death in this one. Another comment from Greg Small. He says, "I low key might join Green." So I know you had been kind of like outside of this whole thing, looking in on your perspective. I was Team Black, but I'm kind of fading into like just rooting for Team Chaos. I'm just curious. Do you have any updates
yeah.
on your allegiances?
I think I'm the same boat as you actually. I still like I liked Aegon's character arc this story this season, but I just can't wrap my head around like him and Aemond and Daron and whoever else you might put in that corner. I still like Rhaenyra. There's something about her. Like she's obviously not a good queen. Like she's not fit for the job, but like
Yeah.
I think she's a good character. I love Daemon. I don't necessarily love the two of them in power, but I'm definitely not Team Green. I think I'm in the same boat as you of like if I'm not Team Black, I'm Team Everybody Will Die. But I wish the dragons could just run off and go to like the Bahamas and hang
Yeah.
out and be fine because they don't deserve what they're about to get.
Well, I think Team Green, you lose Ormond and Kristen Cole this season, so it's becoming more like palatable maybe
It
to
it
switch
is. It's
allegiances.
just I just Aemond is like I'm not a big
Yeah,
Aemond guy.
I don't like Aemond either. All right, well, we've gone through the big battles, the big deaths, and then obviously the big surprise death at the end. But we also have Rhaenyra kind of doing her own thing this episode. Culminates in a speech with her calling herself Rhaenyra the
Prince that
Chosen
was promised.
and the prince that was promised. Unfortunately, we know that that will not be true, but that was just a funny, laughable moment. I said in my notes, "Unfortunately, honey, you are not the prince that was promised."
That's a good
Princess
line.
it would be princess that was promised, but
I
Rhaenyra,
don't think she really character. I don't think she thought that through, which is
yeah.
why she said it in Old Valyrian and not in the common tongue.
Something I just thought of is this her sort of buying into this kind of stuff that Damon's been pitching to her all season, like we're higher than these beings, like we're higher beings, and
I think she
um,
just reached her breaking point of like, she's like, screw this, I'm done. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna do things my way because I've done it the way that I think I should do it. So, I thought the speech was great. I thought that whole scene. I thought her being taken through King's Landing with Joffrey was great. I thought that was really cool the way they shot it. I thought her going into the Sept and killing the High Septon or have Alan kill the High Septon was great. Thought the speech was. I thought that was great TV. Honestly, um, was it a little? Was the speech like a little? Little. I don't want to say corny, but a little cheesy. Like sure, but I still thought it was great TV.
So we have an update from our loyal commenter, Greg Small. He says, In High Valyrian, it's no pronouns, so prince and princess is the same. He heard it on another video, so
That's cool. Okay, that's
good
good
to
to
know.
know, Greg. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, the speech wasn't. It was all right, and I think it's just kind of showing she's kind of just devolved. I'm not even ready to say that she's got her like Mad Queen moment.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree with you because really Tumbleton was Ulf's fault at the end of the day. Like it
yeah,
was relatively tame, relatively before.
and it wasn't just like she was like go burn them all like Daenerys or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
So we'll have to see if something does pop up as it traditionally has in the past with
yeah. Her PR
Targaryen.
from it's gonna be rough though because everyone does think Ulf is Team Black.
Yeah. Speaking of PR, our guy Alan stabs the High Septon, orders of Rhaenyra, but it's Alan who is the one to stab him in the chest. Kind of a surprising one for me because I feel like Alan was more like level-headed, more chill, and like would like have a moral
Listen,
like.
we're Allen fanboys here.
We
He
are,
can
we
do he
are,
can do no wrong. Um,
but this was
was that
bad.
was that probably the smartest choice for like good juju? Like definitely not.
Something bad is
Um,
going to happen to him after that. I was like, this is just so like tellingly bad for him.
but I hope finally Rhaenyra just finally gives him like the Valerian last name and everything.
Yeah. He deserves it. I mean, Adam has been
He
doing fuck
does.
all for like I don't know what Adam's been doing this whole
I
season,
mean,
but
they both deserve. Because you got to remember, Adam has been on Vagar watch. I mean, they haven't found Vagar, so he's not done a great job at it. But he's still listening to orders to his credit. You know?
yeah. I mean, he's not like Ulfing, but it's not like he's like. I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like Alan was in the Battle of the Gullet, and he's like now he's on the High Council, and now he's like doing this
yeah. But
dirty work.
Adam, he went with Rhaenyra to get
Right,
Rhaena
the
when she'd do
confrontation
it.
last episode, whatever.
Yeah,
I was saying I think Alan's slightly more deserving of that last name if someone were to get it. And
fair.
Adam
I would agree
Adam
with that.
didn't
I
have
would
like
agree
a
with that.
crazy season this season.
Alan brought in the cats to the Red Keep
Yeah,
to get rid of the rats.
that was
So
good. Yeah, so High Septon, never really cared. I never cared about the first High Septon in the actual Game of Thrones, but I think this
no,
is kind
I
of more
hated the
just like,
High Sparrow
yeah, this is like a theoretical or more of like a moral or thematic thing of Rhaenyra having this guy killed rather than like an actual important character dying. But
for
another
sure.
one we see go here. Greg has some opinions on this one as well. He says Alan did the right thing. Um,
I I don't
I
know if
think you
I'd say
just have to
the
say yeah because like
yeah
what is he gonna do? Like we're
yeah.
deny Rhaenyra's
I
thing.
don't know if I'd say the right thing, but like in the moment, like he's obviously he believes in Rhaenyra, like that's his queen.
Yeah.
So I get where he's coming from, and um, I thought it was great TV. So as a viewer, I loved it.
Adam low key stinks.
Well, it's Adam with two D's,
Yeah, it is
so
Adam with two
I
D's.
don't know what Adam you're talking about, Greg.
I disagree with this comment. I think Adam's cool, but I think he needs to be given more to do
I think
in
the
the last
tough part
season.
he just hasn't gotten a lot of screen time, so it's like
Yeah,
um, I've liked him when he's on screen. I think he's a good character. It's just we haven't really seen that much of him.
yeah. So this is an interesting one. The dragons chasing.
So I thought that too, Greg, but then one of you guys said no. But
I thought they were chasing Ulf's dragon, but it's so hard for me to tell what's what
yeah,
dragon. Like I
I
just have
also thought it was Vagar, Greg, but I don't know.
I don't know. This is unclear to me. The only dragons I know are Daemon's, and then now Helena's. Those are the only two that are like distinct to me in some way or shape or form. I couldn't even tell you who. I couldn't tell you Vagar if you showed it to me. Vermithor.
Vermithor is Hugh's dragon.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know what he looks like. So, any thoughts on that? Okay. So the last sort of essential thing that I definitely wanted to talk about was the brother scene. It's been going viral. Aegon and Aemond back.
It's great.
Aemond saying, "I'm alive." That felt
Yeah,
like a dream sequence. Like I was like, "This is too good
yeah.
to be true," but it is true. And I'm actually shocked to see Aemond just get bitched like that. Where like I know he's kind of been on
I
his
know.
like side questing this season with Alice or whatever, and everyone has their opinions on Alice, but I
Alice
was
has wasted seasons of two characters, by the way. She
yeah, two
wasted
great
Daemon
characters.
and she wasted Aemond. As someone who doesn't like Aemond, the guy's still too essential to just waste for a whole season
In
having
Harrenhal.
dreams in Harrenhal.
Yeah. But I thought this scene was great, and I think this is interesting moving forward. Where I thought Eamon would like stand up for himself, like try and go back and be like, "Yeah, I did try and kill you. I'm going to do it again." But he kind of just like lets Aegon say whatever he wants and like kind of walks all over him here. So I thought that was pretty
I will
interesting.
say you got to think about it from his view of he probably genuinely thinks that Aegon is dead, and he genuinely thinks that Sunfire is dead, and then to see both of them in the flesh, well, I thought that was like Aegon's the king that resurrected. Like it's cool. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of his, but it's a
Yeah, yeah.
really cool season arc.
I could see that, yeah, of like, oh my god, he came back from the dead. Like maybe
Yeah,
he's the prince that was promised, you know.
yeah,
So I understand
yeah.
where you're coming from with that. But I thought this was a great scene, and the Aegon that we knew in the first two seasons, I feel like a lot of public opinion has changed, and this season they've done a good job
He's
building
like
him
the
back
Andy
up.
Dufresne. He crawled through 500 yards of shit to come out cleaner on the other side.
I think you said that last week, but yes.
I probably did because it's one of my favorite quotes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I thought the scene was awesome, and now those two brothers are back together. We kind of talked about. Well, they do mention that they want to go after Darren, and tell him to get in line and like fuck
Yeah,
Fuck Ormond Hightower. Obviously, Ormond's dead now, but I think they could scoop that up, and then they're
yeah,
working with a pretty formidable little trio right there, and maybe they
yeah.
can pick some other things up. But
The tough part is because it still comes down to you have Aemon and Aegon have their dragons, assuming Aemon finds Vhagar, which he probably will. So that's two really good
that was one thing
pieces.
they said they wanted to do too. Aegon's probably
Yeah,
going to find him, but
and then you have Rhaenyra and Daemon, and then if Darren goes with them, that's three for the Greens. But then you still have Baela, Adam, Hugh, and
yeah,
Baela obviously had a bit of a confrontation, but I still don't think it's enough to obviously sway anything. And then Hugh probably still Team Black, and then Adam's still Team Black, and then Ulf is Team Purple, and so
Team
it's
Purple.
definitely more of an interesting balance. I mean, now it comes down to does Joffrey have a dragon? We don't know that. Does Dreamfire get reclaimed by someone else?
Sheep
Does
Stealers out there somewhere.
Sheep Stealer, Reyna, does that happen with anything? So there's a lot of like interesting balances in terms of like who goes to who.
Yeah, there's a lot to play out in this last season. Like I said, I hope they were able to do it all. All right, so let's get through some of the other like side stuff that happened at the beginning of the episode and kind of rapid fire some of this stuff. So we have the offer from Gwaine on behalf of Darren to give Corley's back, which was
Horrible negotiating chip.
yeah, just
That was
actually
just the guy needs to take a sales 101 class at Syracuse University. That's what I'll say.
yeah. I mean, even that would put him levels above what we just saw
Yeah.
transpire, where they just get Corley's back, and luckily Damon lets Gwaine live, where that'd be so easy to just kill
Yeah.
Gwaine right there. So I don't
Yeah.
know what he was thinking with that. The treaty would be Darren's like ruling part of the Seven Kingdoms. They never would have gone for that. But
What was that was like have you not paid attention to anything of how this war started in the first place?
yeah,
Like I thought that was just everything. That was a bit of stupid writing by the writers, but it gets Corlys back to the Blacks, so
yeah. I guess nothing really happened besides him losing a finger. Like I guess that didn't really lead
yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Back to the Valarians, we have Adam versus Alan debating Corlys versus Rhaenyra, where Alan has seemingly kind of parked his boat with Rhaenyra, more like leaning towards that way. And Adam's like, we got to fight for our dad. But interesting to see now that they're fighting over this and also their sister. Is this going to be
No, it's not sister. It's not
whatever?
sister.
Like, it's so hard to keep track.
It's
Niece,
technically their niece, yeah.
niece. They're fighting over their niece, but I don't know. Is this going to be a potential situation that needs monitoring, or is this just like brotherly banter?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I would say brotherly banter for now.
Yeah, I don't. We'll see if this develops any further. So I did like Helena and Rhaenyra's first confrontation, where she's like just completely owns Rhaenyra, but then she gets forced to feed the food or forced to eat the food, which was a tough scene to watch.
Or 13th reason.
Yeah, it was a weird scene to watch, but just wanted to note that. So probably the last big thing, our girl, your girl, Mysaria, sent out of the kingdoms.
It was random. I mean,
it was completely random, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, obviously, this is not the last we've heard from Massaria. There'll be more next season. She probably goes to Team Green, and helps Aegon or whatever. Is probably what will happen. I didn't really get that from Rhaenyra, but maybe she's just like done with everyone around her and she just needs some new peeps. So
Yeah, I didn't really get that either. And she immediately rats her out to Helena. So, my Mysteria does have some chips still on the table, does have her ability to kind of,
Oh yeah.
she easily gets out of whatever they're holding her in that like the wagon. So she's still a player around these parts.
Yep.
Curious to see what happens to her. Another character you were showing enjoyment for, but turned heel on this week, Darren, was knighted by Ormond. Any,
I like the potential of Daron. Obviously, a bit of a
yeah.
letdown for this season, but
I think
I
it
still have
sucks that we
hope.
know that there's only one season left because it's like if there was like 6 seasons of the show or like it could have just kept going. It's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
Daron might be a player in like two
Yeah.
seasons, but
No, I
um,
agree. Yeah,
it's
especially
like
with like the fake out that happened with like the Daron swap at the beginning of the season and everything. Like I
right,
thought he'd play a bigger role. There's still time. I was an Ulf hater until this episode, so
yeah.
um, all
It's
it takes
tough
is
to
one episode.
know what happened, but I feel like there is a ceiling now because there's only a couple episodes left. But I feel like we'll have to see what happens with Darren. So yeah, you touched on the Bela and Rhaenyra confrontation. There's still, I mean, this has been bad between the Valarians and Rhaenyra this season with Corlys going at her and now this sort of her going at Bela. Curious to see if this really leads to something if they like split off, but I just think the families are so tied that like
Yeah,
nothing would really happen, and I think
I
Rhaenyra will
agree.
just have to be forced to cave in or just cave in due to like the situations of her team failing in a lot of aspects. And then the last thing, and then we'll get to some comments. Rhaenyra gets the tough news to start off the episode that Aegon is back in town, found alive. Obviously, very upset. Damon's actually the one to comfort her, and I think this season was actually a big season for Damon being like more chill. Does kind of have like big lofty goals of like we're going to take over the world and all that stuff. But I feel like he's actually more like level headed in a sense. So that was nice to see.
I would agree. I
Yeah,
thought he had a good season. I mean, I love Damon. I think he's probably my favorite character in the
he was
show.
pulled
So
off the sidelines of Harrenhal and actually given things to
finally,
do.
finally,
Yeah.
about damn time.
So that was fun. Just to see Rhaenyra's reaction to that. Obviously, hearing Aegon's kind of like the big overarching rivalry of what really has gone down in this whole show. So we'll have to see if that obviously will play a part in the last season. All right, let's get back to some comments.
Let's
So
do
back
it,
on Instagram, our man Connor says, "What's the deal with young Joffrey? You think?"
brother. I couldn't even tell you. I don't even know.
I think he's either set up for like a gruesome like death, like another one of Rhaenyra's kids, or he's gonna like. I guess he's now the hand of the heir to
Not
the
the hand.
throne
Heir to the
throne
yes.
under Rhaenyra. So maybe like something happens to Rhaenyra, he's thrown into power.
I mean,
Um,
we'll be realistic. He's probably a goner because we can infer by the fact that future Targaryen kings don't have black hair. But maybe I'm wrong.
yeah, I don't know. And then Connor says he's going to YouTube, so we'll now switch over to the YouTube comments. Back to Greg, he says, "Is Aemon going to go after Alicent, or will he become better for this? If he does get better, then will Team Green truly be united for once?" I find it hard to imagine Team Green being united in like the
I
first
agree.
episode or two of
There's a
season
few too
4.
many egos there.
Yeah, and especially with the Allison involved, she just tried to poison Aemon. So I feel like they need to like get some things figured out. Like there needs to be an Allison and Aemon like get back together situation. There needs to be a Darren situation, like knowing what's going on with his brothers and also with Allison. They were just kind of disorganized, so I think they need like an organizing rally cry, and maybe that is Aegon like coming back to the Seven Kingdoms. But for right now, I think Team Green is still a mess. We're a mess this whole season, so that's my kind of prediction for that, how that goes. Connor J says, "Hey chat," so he made it over to YouTube. How many mediums is this podcast on? Only 2, only Instagram and YouTube. But
Let's up those numbers. Spotify,
yeah.
Apple Music,
Well, it
TikTok.
gets posted after. I can't live it onto it can only do 2 lives, but it does get posted to Spotify, and then through that also Amazon and Apple
That's
Music.
power. That's
Yeah.
power.
So Connor's got to take bit of lame writing having Mysaria see Helena while walking out, and the guards just don't give a shit. Yeah, the guards did not
There were
care at
some
all.
lame writing moments in the episode for sure, but I think you come to expect that with where we're at in the Thrones universe. So I took it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just have to accept, especially at the pace they're going at, where they have so much stuff to get to. But I'm not going to excuse them. Yeah, Mysaria just basically slipped out instantly, so there was like no point in having her even leave with guards. Greg has a question. Who's your prediction to be king/king at the end of the show?
I found out who the answer is, so I'm not
Okay.
gonna. Yeah.
I need a second to think about this. I don't think it's going to be Rhaenyra. I don't. I think Damon might be like, that would be cool if Damon makes it somehow, and it's just like after all that. But I feel like that's just not going to happen. Team Black, it's looking rough. Besides that, like I don't think any of the Valarians get in there. So I'm thinking someone from Team Green. Uh, maybe someone we haven't even seen yet. But I don't know like the lore of it all. I'll say Darren. Darren ends as king. The brothers are idiots and just get themselves killed. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Darren Targaryen. Hot take. Who knows? Don't give me any reactions in case it's wrong. Connor thinks maybe a Hightower or a Lannister. I don't know if the Lannisters ever get control.
Connor, bro. What do you? That was. We all know that it's a Targaryen.
Yeah.
Like it's a question of which Targaryen. The Mad King is the last Targaryen king, and that was like 140 years after House of the Dragon.
This is such a the two shows I'm watching right now, they're showing Silo, are so weird because they're based off of books, but like they switch up how the books play out in the show, so it's like so hard to like
Yeah,
be
but in this
online and,
case, like we know a Targaryen is going to end up
yeah,
on
I
the
know, but
throne.
I'm just saying like trying to avoid spoilers / predictions, like you don't know what's what. It's a weird space to be in. Our host hates interacting with his audience. SMH, ACC, Pride, Red Sox are currently losing.
Damn.
The Red Sox have won a lot recently.
Can't win them
But
all.
yeah,
Cubs
you
won
can't win them
today.
all. ACC Pride, I know, it's rough times for the ACC, but I always stand by my conference. And clearly, you've not watched too many dubcasts because I always get to the comments. So that's what we're doing. Maybe Joffrey takes Helena's old dragon. You said you know what happens with this. That's a good guess actually because they both are.
Well, I know what happens to Dreamfire. I don't know the in between.
Okay.
So maybe that could happen.
That would be a good thing to link them up, or maybe you get Ulf off of his dragon and get that.
No, because once a dragon's bonded, as long as that person's alive, they don't take
Well, I'm
another
saying you
rider.
kill Ulf and then
sure.
give tryouts to Joffrey and other kids maybe.
Yeah,
and aren't there are like two small dragons in Pentos, right?
There are, yeah, but those would probably go to
the Pentos.
Aegon and Viserys, which is Rhaenyra's kids with Daemon.
Maybe one of those two rules. So yeah, I think that's a good guess for Helena's old dragon. I mean, we haven't even seen her in the show, so they might not even bother to pick up on that if like it's, I don't know, who knows. Greg thinks Darren for king, just like me. True heart of the king. I'll have to disagree with that one. I haven't seen the bravado and confidence from Darren, but okay. Muted all that because I don't want your spoilers. Yeah, it is a very dangerous area to traverse, but thank you or sorry. I'm not sure what you're saying. I just realized this Chesty. What does the J stand for? Middle name, James, and his username. Wow, I just realized that's Greg Small. Holy smokes, PC, dead. You were the NASCAR kid. Yeah, very infamous picture of Greg in the NASCAR costume. Cry face. Okay. Hopefully you remembered our segments. So we'll go to
the biggest
winner of episode 8 and the ending of season 3.
I'll give it to Daemon.
Okay, interesting.
I was thinking Ulf, but I still don't think Ulf could be considered the biggest winner. So I'll say Ulf is a winner, but I'd say Daemon. He wanted bloodshed. He got bloodshed. Ormond's dead. They basically got. I mean, they got Tumbleton. His dragon's alive. He told Roderick Dustin he can't die until
Did they get Tumbleton? I feel like that was kind of like a split decision.
But it's not the Greens now.
Right.
Okay. So I'll say Daemon. I thought that he's been wanting to kill, and he got to kill.
I had neither of those people. My biggest winner I gave to Aegon. I feel like he's coming there, bitches his brother, probably gets access to the top dragon.
I could say that's the biggest winner of the season, or one of the biggest winners of the season. The episode, though, I don't know if I could say that's like.
I think Ormond dying frees up Darren and Gwaine because they're not going to do anything. So then it just leaves the keys to the car to get everything back together. So I thought Aegon won, was the biggest winner. And then honorable mentions, Darren and Gwaine both make it out alive and no longer have to be subject to be like kind of ruled by Ormond. Those are my 2 honorable mentions for biggest winner. Biggest loser, I feel like I gave it to this person a lot throughout the season, but she just kept on losing. Rhaenyra, I feel like...
I'm going to say rip to my girl. Actually, I'm going to say Ormond. Because
dead is always a good place to go.
I was going to say Helena, but I'm going to say Ormond. he recruited Ulf, that failed, and then basically died going out the worst way possible, which is like he wants everything, smelling good, feeling good, whatnot. Gets blood spat out on his face. He's about to puke. Gets a sword shoved up his ass, and then is burned by a dragon. It's probably the worst way he could have gone out after that dragon betrayed him.
Yeah. I just said Rhaenyra because everything is slipping. I mean, actually, I don't know if that was probably just a reactionary bad answer, but I feel like season as a whole, definitely Rhaenyra lost out. And then I feel like there's some bad vibes going on there with the slaying of the High Septon. Some honorable mentions I had: Alicent and Helena. Obviously, Alicent losing Helena, and then Helena losing her life, and kind of being forced to their life of servitude or death. So that sucked a lot for them. But Helena might be a good shout probably for biggest loser. Not even because she killed herself, just like the situation she was put in. Time for our favorite character. I think we'll have the same one. So let's say it in 3, 2.
Wait. Sorry. Wait, do we have the same one? Daemon?
You said Daemon. Okay, interesting. Explain why Daemon is your favorite.
I've just been a Daemon lover.
Okay, so you just kind of got back on the wagon.
You're of the episode or of the season?
Of the episode.
Oh, probably Alan. Yeah, Alan or Daemon. Alan or Daemon.
You're missing somebody.
Who am I missing?
Roderick.
Oh, you're right. Obviously. Okay, yes,
Roderick.
You're right. You're right. Roderick was my
Roderick's
favorite.
episode.
You're right. That Roderick was my favorite. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about him. Yes.
I didn't even have an honorable mention. I was like, this has got to be Roderick. There's really only one
Yeah.
answer.
Daemon and Alan would be in there too. I thought they had great
Just
moments.
from
Yes,
the
you're
season,
right.
yeah. I'm in those two characters' camps for sure, season and show wise. Least favorite, I give it to Ulf, just because he kind of wreaks havoc and everything. It wasn't really great. It wasn't like great to watch, just from my perspective. But
I think at least Ulf, we got a payoff for him being in the show. So I don't like him, but I can't say he's my least favorite character. So I'll say my least favorite would be Aemond, because he just wasted a whole season at Harrenhal just to bend the knee to his brother that he tried to kill last season. So
I had Rhaenyra in least favor. I just was not really fucking with her vibe this episode, and also Ormond, just because Ormond sucks.
Fair.
But, all right, that's all on season 3. Final
it's a pleasure, brother.
Yeah, anything
I love you, man.
Love you.
Say
too.
it back. Thank you. Appreciate that. You're a good man. That was a great season. They needed a strong season after season 2, and they delivered. So I think that's like the short piece.
We got some final comments, then I'll ask you for your season rankings, so be prepared for that. Greg says, no evil twin. Okay, he's saying he has an evil twin. That was, okay, got it. Connor, our hosts hope the queen gets it. I disagree. I don't really want Rhaenyra to rule anymore. I feel like we've kind of seen how it's gone. And I think if the show ended with her just still being queen, that'd probably be pretty lame and probably not a story worth telling. So I don't think it's going to happen, and I would agree want that to happen. So I disagree with your comment. You don't think Darren has similarities to Jon Snow in the fact he doesn't want to be king?
No, not at all, Greg. Not at all.
This is a major reach.
Yeah, no. No. Short answer, no. I don't want to get into all the reasons why I disagree with that. So no, short answer.
Okay. Commenters, get your last comments in now. We're asking David. We've had 3 seasons of House of the Dragon. Give us your season rankings from 1 to 3.
3, 1, 2.
Okay. I think 2 is
brother?
2 is consensus last. I got 1. Sometimes I do fall into these like, where was I watching the show? It kind of leads into some emotional like ties to it. So I remember I was in Madrid. There's episodes that come out like 6 a.m. at that time, and I would just crank those out. But I feel like in season 1 there was a bunch of shit happening. It was crazy. Good ending, like consistent. I think season 1 was the most consistently good, and maybe there aren't those standouts of season 3. And I disagree with your take actually that the finale was the best episode of the season. I was an episode 1 person for season 3, but okay. But yeah, I thought season 1, and maybe I'll have to revisit it and I may change my pick, but I don't think season 3 is as bad as people are saying. I think this was a major, major, major step up from season 2. I mean, when we were texting the other night, I literally looked up what happened in the second half of season 2. It's like Daemon wakes up from a dream at Harrenhal.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
It was horrible.
So I feel like season 3 was a good return to form, and they've set it up in at least a decent place where they can say, you know what, we're going to speed through this last season, but it's going to be every episode is going to have something insane happen, and it'll be great to watch. So we'll see you in season 4 for House of the Dragon, hopefully 2028 summer.
I'll be there.
There's nothing like a House of the Dragon Sunday night in the summer, and they do perfect timing too. We have 2 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks before we get to football to kind of sit back, reflect on everything, and they don't try and interrupt on that. So good job by HBO on this season, and we'll see you guys for season 4 in 2028. So thanks to you for joining me and for our recap.
Thank you for having me. Seriously, this has been a pleasure.
Maybe we can collab on some other stuff in the meantime.
I would love to. Seriously, let's do it. NFL.
Well, we've got the NFL crew, but you could call in. We would love to be in the chat. Even
I would love to. I'll be in the chat.
All right, pop out for that. I know you disagreed with my playoff picks for last season. I was wrong.
Yeah, Mr. Packers.
Yeah, Greg's final rankings was 3-1-2, so he agrees with you on that. All right, folks, that's it for season 3, House of the Dragon. Thanks to everyone for sticking all the way through, and we'll see you in 2028 or just anything else you want to watch in the dub, guys. Peace out.